So it's 7:01, we do have a quorum, Scott is coming as far as I know, but Chris and Susan are not.
Well, then we'll call the meeting to order at still 7:01.
Oh, look, there
I
it is.
apologize, parking was inadequate.
It's
It was not terrific tonight, so, sorry.
What's going on? I guess everyone's laughing.
Yeah, I don't know, it was.
They just sang happy birthday.
Hello, everybody, I apologize for being late.
All right, so we have everyone we're gonna have. We'll get rolling. First item on the agenda is the acceptance of the Secretary's report. Is there a motion?
Move.
A second. Okay, let us discuss the Secretary's report. Any discussion?
I didn't know first.
All right, very good. It looked good to me as well. If there is no discussion, we will go around and vote on the motion to accept the Secretary's report. Laura?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Dan? Yes. Amy?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
I'm a yes, it passes unanimously. Next item, acceptance of the monthly staff reports. Is there a motion to accept? Is there a second?
Sure.
Backups on both. Okay, all right, discussion on the staff reports. Do we need a motion to deny Heidi's request to retire?
That seems weird for a question.
No, that's the end of an era, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Just curious, which is the academic library that was going to join Noble and decided not to?
Gordon Cornwell,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, there we go.
I know. I think it sort of was like the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing, so there were a bunch of people who were all on board, and then somebody higher up said, whoa, wait a minute.
Sure.
And they looked into it and then they said, no. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Will the Baker and Taylor being sold have an impact on getting books? Will it have like more delays, do you think?
For what? Say again?
Oh, Baker and Taylor.
I
Baker.
I was thinking, I'm trying to connect it to Gordon Conwell.
Oh, sorry, no, different topic.
So we use Baker and Taylor only for I was just looking at it this afternoon, it's only about 20 titles of standing order materials. However, because of their closure, our main supplier Ingram, everyone is moving to Ingram, so we are seeing delays through Ingram. But we've done kind of a pivot with our ordering procedure, and we're ordering things as non-processed, which should hopefully ship things out quicker, so we're not waiting for that.
But it means we have to process them.
Yep.
So there's a little time there, but it's less time
It's less
than.
Sure, it's on our schedule,
Yes,
based on how willing we are to dedicate the resources.
which we have the resources.
Yes. We've seen the
Yeah.
process, yes. The factory work, costs going up, do we know, long-term contracts or anything?
Sounds like with Amazon coming in, not that we all love that from a world perspective, but.
We use them now,
Yeah.
we use Amazon now, and it gives us more, I don't know if it's incentive, but I feel more comfortable using them. They are on this contract, so we get good pricing, and they're unbelievably prompt.
And they're working with libraries as well. I went to a webinar a couple weeks ago about where they are right now, so we can actually get MARC records from them, which gets us a little bit closer to a traditional library supplier. So we can upload those records into the catalog right away to have a record for it. But they don't make the invoicing as easy as like Baker and Taylor or Ingram do, but they're working on it. Lots of feelings about that.
I don't like them, but if I need something tomorrow, that's what we go for.
Yep.
Thanks for that.
Sign.
Thank you for the sign,
Oh,
the
yeah.
marquee. So we
Oh,
talked
that's
about that, I think it was a meeting book, just put the name on there, cause it's really faint up the top there, so.
Mm.
You went from across the street, you said.
Yeah, I was across the street having my eyes tested, and I looked and said, there was nothing there. And then when I came back here, I said, you can't really tell, there's no sign, it's in the granite, but you can't really see that. And somebody downstairs said, oh, we get people in here all the time who think it's the post office. I said, oh, so we, that logo is ours and it's good quality, so the printing came out fine. And if it doesn't last, I mean, even if they said 10 years, even if it was 5.
Even if it was 5 months.
I know.
Yeah, we'll see how it does over the winter. That'll be the test.
But it's definitely better than it was.
I know, the herd's back.
Oh, yeah.
I missed something,
So,
what happened
yeah,
there?
this
I
surprise
did-
for
I didn't expect it either. Yeah, so if you
This
have
will be the
books.
5th last year at the herd.
Fifth annual going on.
Every time they rally, they buy another year for it, which is fine, I guess, it's good.
It's good up to a point, that building is not.
Well, yeah, we don't want the roof to fall
Yeah.
literally on top of people
Yeah.
while they're looking for children's books, but,
It makes me nervous.
But
It does
From the
make me nervous.
perspective of the Friends raising money, it's
right, right.
another year of.
And last year's book sale was really, really good too, so.
Yeah, they're collecting books, so if you have books to donate, go for it.
Good.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
You put a sentence in there about Dee will be reviewing HR procedures. Is that just a meeting that you're having, or is that something she's doing for the town as a whole?
Where is this?
The bottom of
D,
page 1,
D
yes,
is going to be-
DKC, the new.
That's the town as a whole.
Okay,
There are certain things, especially for us, the biggest difference it's gonna make is that our documentation will, for the most part, be digitized and it will all be in one place. And we won't have some of the responsibility that we've had over the years because it fell through the cracks. So now if we need something, we're looking multiple places for it, they wanna have everything. And I want them to have everything, so it's really be centralized for the town.
For what it's worth, I met with Dee as well, she was really reaching out to all the chairs of all the departments as well.
Oh, good.
Mostly just meet and greet, but I did also put in a plug for a new roof for the other half of the building. I also told her that if anyone calls it the new building, then it is not a new building.
It's not this building.
It is in fact a fairly old building at this point, in need of a roof. I know we have a lot of other care abouts, but I figured I had like 5 minutes, I'll plug for that.
Yeah, she was the liaison to her library at her last position, so she's a library fan. She gets it because she's been to those meetings.
Yeah, she went off with her seeing the library as like a social center, and that's,
Yeah,
that is accurate. And also very good to not have to learn somebody after that.
so the bricks in the walkway, I walked right over it thinking, oh, I'm gonna look at this, didn't notice anything, and then walked back again to look for it. So it's the bit of the sort of the grouting, like the cement, and there's a couple of bricks in the sort of near the doorway, that's what you're talking
are
about?
we talking about
The
the
A1
A1 street?
So it's the whole
'Cause there's
walkway
so
that's
many- so
gonna
many
be
bricks.
replaced.
It's not close to the door.
Yeah.
When you look close to the door, that's done differently than the slanted part. And the slanted part, if you look between the bricks, it's all not there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're moving a
Yeah,
lot.
they're popping up. Dave has at least one of them down in his office right now, so we don't lose it, but yeah.
Yeah, so every day he's coming in and fixing them.
Okay,
So they really need to be, and they don't look that bad because every day he comes in and fixes them. But we met with the mason and, he said, yeah,
This just
he can do it.
I mean, it hasn't been like this for a long time.
Well, it sort of has,
It
but
kind
it's
of has,
been,
but he's been
it's
like
been
really on
manageable.
top of it,
Really, has it?
fixing it, yes, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden they've just kind of started like popping up.
and I think he changed the water at one point, but it's still not, it will be better this time.
So what they're gonna do actually when they repair it is they're gonna make it look like the top by the door, so it's actually gonna be mortared. Which is probably how it should have been done.
I don't know if Dave is a write it down kind of guy, but
No.
I would love to know, what are these things he's running around duct taping together?
Oh, tell me about it.
Because in aggregate, it's taking them away from other, like, what you would hire them to do in the first place.
Well, he's like an Energizer bunny, so it's not really, he just gets everything done
Well-
because he can't stop moving.
Sure, and I'm not, the throughput is terrific. It's just a matter of, what should the trustees and the town be paying to fix permanently so he doesn't have to?
Well, the other thing is, that I'm always telling him is, the next person in his position is not gonna be able to necessarily do all these things that he does. And if he keeps MacGyvering everything and not telling me that this was something that would actually be a $500 repair, he's in his office, he taught you how to
Solder.
yeah, so.
Which is awesome, but will be accounted for in the budget for
There are other
future
areas.
years,
It's
yeah.
not-
It was
Like,
emergency
yeah.
repairs before we
Right.
got the access control.
Yeah,
It's like, do it yourself, it's
some
like, well, but
circuit
that's not a
boards.
good line item
Right.
in 5 years, when you don't have a guy that can do it himself or herself.
Well, even just for contingency, God forbid Dave wasn't available for a month
Yeah,
or whatever reason, like,
Continuity too.
yeah, like they're just like,
Yeah.
why is
Right.
it really cold in here all of a sudden, or what,
Right.
So the other thing he does is when we have vendors come in and do stuff, he helps them. Cause if he helps them, they're out faster and he's
Yeah,
not
cheaper.
paying so many,
Oh.
So he's saving everybody and it's great. And he can't help it, but it's not, it's not good practice.
Even if every time he did something, he just took a Post-it and wrote it down and someone could collate all that.
I
So
know.
so that, if
Yeah.
he wins the lottery and he's not here next November, someone knows that, oh yeah, as soon as it gets cold, all the bricks start popping out of the walkway on Avon Street.
Mhm.
I know.
Yes, that's the double-edged sword of an in-house handyman, where it's like, it's really good,
Right.
but if you need to get money for what he does, and then he goes away, it's like, well, we're out 20 grand, because
Right.
that's what he saved us.
Right.
There are worse problems.
Well, for,
Short term,
it's
yes.
a blessing to
Yes.
have him,
It
especially
is, yeah.
a great old building like this, but we need to start keeping track, so we have receipts to show the town.
Because if I keep track of it, then when it turns over, you're able to say, we had turnover, we had this exceptional person, this is what they were saving us annually,
Right.
we're gonna need that money
Right.
in the budget.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. But Dave's great. And we all
Yeah.
Dave's great.
Quick question, not to belabor these guys. The website's different now, the Noble website, right?
Yep,
And
The catalog part.
And any feedback from people so far, like in terms of how they,
Some people don't like change.
Some people don't like change, some
I
people.
don't love it, I don't love it
Right.
myself, but yep.
That was my first reaction too.
I'm like, I don't love it so far, yep, I'm like, I'm looking for books and it's like, no, you didn't, and I'm like, well, I just wanna find where I usually look for books, so I'm
Okay.
curious what the feedback is right now, yeah.
We've had some positive feedback,
Okay.
we've had a little bit of negative feedback, we've had some that's like both.
Okay.
Someone being like, oh, I understand how all these things are great and new and you wanna see pictures, but I hate this and I want the old one.
But there is a link to, I will.
There is a link, the link will be going away. So
We don't know
we don't-
exactly when.
I think we said February.
So we plan on doing some trainings. And do you know what Niche Academy is on the side of that? We're gonna rename Niche Academy for starters.
Terrible name.
Yeah, so on our webpage, there's something on the right called Niche Academy, and it's little video trainings.
Okay.
And we can add to those. So we'll put some things on there, because it really does have some great features that weren't in the other one.
Okay.
It's just what you get used to.
Well, yeah,
You
I'm like,
know,
I'll get you, I'm a grown man, I'll get used to it, like,
Yeah.
I will adapt. I was just curious, cause my initial feedback to it was like, I don't like using this, like, the way that I like the old website.
Yeah.
I'm sure people are wired to the same thing, but I can adapt, but I was just curious, like, at a high level, what sentiment was now that the website had changed and how they can use it and navigate it, and like, makes sense, it'd be a mix, of course, people were like, I don't wanna do that, and people were like, this is fine, and I'll keep using it.
From a staff perspective, we can do a lot of really cool things that we could not do before.
So that's good, that's so that, we
And
know
it's
that,
also,
we
it's
advocate for
It's
that.
very much
Yeah,
like all the other most of the other catalogs in the state now.
right,
They all look the same. Everyone has their own branding and their own colors, but how it functions is all the same. So if you go from one to the other, I don't know how many people do that, but
okay, well, that's good,
I do
that's,
occasionally.
that's the main thing, if it's easier for you all on the back end,
Yeah.
cooler,
Yeah.
then that's like, at least as a library advocate, obviously.
Yeah, so we're
Yeah.
really able to make some really good looking like book lists and get those published really easily.
Okay.
So for
We had
someone
one
that
last
might-
week, that was featured in our blog post, and we just linked right to that. So it's made that kind of stuff a lot easier.
Nice, okay, cool, that's all, just curious.
I like it.
I like Of course you would. We're gonna talk, we're gonna talk after this.
It's interesting to me because, you know, when initially, and I just checked it on the web-based version, but like, the value of this is that it's very
Yes.
touchscreen friendly and everything like that, but the app is still the old app, right? The app itself,
Yes.
if you have the Noble
Correct.
app, has an
Oh,
updated
that
app.
was totally different, yeah,
And so,
yeah.
I'm like, well, this would be great if I had a touchscreen, but
Yeah.
when I'm on my touchscreen, I'm using the Noble app, so like,
Right.
what's the,
It's very responsive too, so you could just go to the website on your phone.
but I'm not
Yeah, the
logged in
app
on the
is-
website.
you're not, yeah.
I'm logged in automatically on the
Yep.
app, so. No, but I liked it when I looked at it on my iPad, I hated it when I was on my computer. So-
Yeah,
I'm
I
more
guess
used
I
to
didn't
computer
catch
more,
that, cause
right?
I don't go back and forth, if I use the app, I'm just in the app and it's quick.
Yeah.
Or if I'm in.
Oh, I like the app. It's just,
Yeah,
it's
the
just
app is
my,
simple.
my old, what is this, you know, it looks like it hasn't really been updated in a long time, and that's fine with me, you know, so.
They did just add more to the app.
Yes, but it
It's like-
wasn't the catalog stuff.
It's not, no, it's not catalog,
There's all
but
these fancy buttons.
Yeah,
there's a,
you got some
there's more,
buttons.
there's
They
more
got some
stuff.
clip art, so you know, it's
Yeah,
really
there
fancy.
you go.
Is that the little paperclip guy?
Oh,
Like,
oh.
remember that guy? Love that guy.
He's been replaced,
Oh, God, like,
Yeah.
more like you sir, let's call it what it
It's
is,
a
this is the
thing
government, but,
and it looks a little bit like a sponge, so I don't know what it is.
oh, well.
Yeah,
But like the museum passes and the meeting, those
Yep.
ones weren't there.
right, that's new, yeah.
Thanks.
I appreciate the service anniversary portion. I don't know if I didn't notice that previously, or if that's a new.
It's relatively new, I stole it from Reading.
uh,
I was looking at her reports for something,
Yeah.
and I thought, ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a great way to capitalize on the last meeting when we got to meet several of the librarians. So keep celebrating them. And is there gonna be a Wakefield home? It's not directly related to this.
Oh, no, there might be eventually, but we're really having trouble getting anything off the ground at this point. We had a meeting today and it got canceled for something different, and the town and the library really wanna work to do a lot of things together, and like the Chamber of Commerce. It's just a matter of getting everybody together and getting everything off the ground. So I don't know how that will work out. Some libraries have changed it to be not so much, it's a 101, but not for new people, for anybody, which is probably a pretty good idea.
Okay, very good. Any other discussion on the staff reports? No, hearing none. We will vote on the motion to accept. Laura?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
And I'm a yes, it passes unanimously. Public participation. I don't see a number on Zoom.
Amy is the public right now,
Yeah.
so that's it.
Yeah.
Amy, do you see any
Do you see
other
anybody, any
viewers?
other-
No. Nope, just me.
Okay, very good. Correspondence?
There was one that.
There was one, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a note that came with the
Yeah, very
donation.
nice, yeah,
Yeah, it was a nice one.
with the donation, yeah. Very good.
Excellent, excellent. All right, committee reports, budget.
Well, we're gonna talk about the budget.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
talk
talk
about
about budget
budget.
after.
We will,
Yeah.
put a pin in that. Building and grounds. Talked about the sign, and we're gonna make some work on that at some point.
Yes, around the same time as we do the masonry on Avon Street,
Sure.
and which is
December 1st.
December 1st. And Megan put this whole little chart together as to how we're gonna promote that information, because it means that our ADA accessible door is not available. So people will, if anybody really needs that, they're gonna have to use the staff room door.
Okay.
We've done this once before, and I don't know that anybody actually used the staff room door, maybe one person did.
Yeah, it wasn't, maybe one.
Yeah, I think people, if they know about it, they can plan around it, either they're not gonna come that week, or they'll contact us, but we'll get the information out there, that only the front door is gonna be available.
Even if no one or only one person uses it, it's great that you have good for it.
Oh, yeah,
How long are we expecting that to take? Sorry.
Yeah, no,
a week or less, did he?
Oh, okay.
He said days,
Yeah.
so we're thinking it, say a week and we should be okay.
Yeah.
That's because that pending weather. I don't think he can work in the rain, but he can work in the cold
Yeah.
apparently, just not the rain.
Yeah, it's an additive for the concrete, so the temperature doesn't matter.
It'll be the same, hopefully to the front steps, or is it different?
Different.
we've been covered in heat about a month now, any issues?
Yeah,
It's hot.
we had a problem with the control software,
Yeah, for the HVACs.
so I don't know. Everything's good though,
Okay, very good.
today.
Yeah,
I know it's working because somebody's having a fire and I can smell it.
Hmm.
Did you smell that one? And earlier in the day, I think someone was having a cookout because I could smell that. That could have been across the street. Not everybody, I have a super sniffer. And Dave does too, so the two of us smell everything before everybody else does. But it comes in through the,
sure, yeah.
so I know it's working because it's pulling air in.
Excellent. Anything else for building and grounds?
I can't think of anything.
Friends, did anyone attend?
I did.
Great.
They had a lovely friendly meeting. So obviously the head school was the big news. The book sale is on for mid-May. They're thinking probably the 13th to the 16th, but they weren't quite sure about those dates yet. So obviously you've seen that they're setting up the book drops for that. They said that they had managed to get themselves as a registered charity on PayPal, so the fee has now gone down to 1.99% from about 2.89%. And they're working on doing the same for Venmo. One of them has an idea for an article, about sort of contrasting what a library might look like with all the friends funds and without, to try and sort of raise awareness about how great the friends are and how people should be donating to them and doing to their friends. So they're working on newsletters. Andrea and Sherry had gone to the conference, so they had, you know, lots of feedback about that. It sounds like a lot of the friends are, you know, from across the state are worried about, you know, FY27 being a tough year with federal cuts. And, you know, I think they were just sort of sharing best practices that they've learned from there. So just a few different things that they were talking about there. Talked about trying to organise some after-hour events. Mini golf came up as one idea. Maybe a Kentucky Derby event was another idea. Maybe getting a gardening club crossover with the Seed Library. And then the Standing for Dollars idea, maybe a public kitchen.
Excellent.
I did ask if any of them might come to this meeting. And they sort of said, well, I guess we used to do that, but sort of dropped off. So I tried to invite them as a
Yeah, good idea, no, good to
encouragement.
get, yeah, good to
You
get.
know, and they said, yes, that would be great. We just
Yeah.
need to find someone who.
That's it.
I mean, anything else you can think of, Catherine?
No, that was,
Very good.
that's it. It was a good meeting.
Okay, gift funds.
They're doing well.
Yeah.
We got another donation from Madeline.
Yeah, that was in the staff report, is that right?
Yeah. I think that's all is there.
That's it.
Yeah, we got another gift too, I think, recently. $1,000
Excellent.
from someone who has moved from town. And that came to go through, that's like a regular donation, that's not a trust fund donation, so that will be approved at town council.
Okay.
And go into, operating funds, those gift funds, yeah.
Great. Legislative advocacy. The state senate passed a couple of bills related to the libraries, is that right? For,
I don't know what happened with that one, that protects librarians.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with that one. I know
It
the
passed
one
the
that you had
Senate.
sent out earlier this week. Yeah.
Where the guy spoke
Yeah.
about, yeah. So something has passed in the Senate that has to do with protecting school and public librarians. Just, they do their job, you can't go after them for that. And that there has to be a process to pulling materials. And then the ebook thing is that they're waiting on that still, I don't think that's
so they,
got anywhere yet.
I mean, they passed something.
Yeah,
It was, but it was just to set up a committee to talk about it, which
That's
I
what
was
it is.
a little disappointed.
I think the reason they're doing that is because it's failed in other states. They're trying to get something that will actually work.
Sure, and they seem to be going about it in a deliberate way. Most of the bill details who gets to be on the committee and who gets to appoint people to the committee. It does include like publishing representatives and folks with electronic book distribution, in addition to librarians, both from public libraries and universities. On and on and on. I think it's 25 people on the committee. But I was hoping for something to happen rather than discussion. But I guess if it takes an extra year or so and it sticks, that's better than kind of flopping around like a dying fish.
Yeah, I don't know, it's a quandary.
It is, but I mean, the dollars we're talking about here would offset a significant amount of what we just lost at the federal level. If it's done properly.
Yep.
All right, so call your local congressperson. Personnel?
Yeah, I can give a quick update. We are going to meet December 1st, that's the Monday after Thanksgiving weekend, I think. Right now, we have a pretty strong skeleton of a new director eval, and each of us, there's 5 of us, I think now, subcommittee will run point on different parts of that eval. The goal is to meet December 1st, talk through it, own our pieces, and then hopefully be ready to talk through it at the December trustee meeting. If we're not ready for that, January is fine too, I think, but the goal right now is that we have some really good ideas, we just kind of flesh it out. We've been trying to meet, but schedules being what they are, sometimes we just aren't able to meet when we'd all like to. So right now, December 1, hopefully all of us will be there under one roof, walk through it, and then have something ready for the greater board to present Wednesday, I think it's the 17th or whatever.
Excellent.
That's the goal. We'll see. But it's heading in the right direction. It looks good.
Very good. Yeah. Okay, and our new head of youth librarians, is that the name of the?
Head of Youth Services.
Head of Youth Services, thank you.
Yeah.
She's settled in.
Yes, she settled right back in like she never left.
Very good.
Except she's on a different floor.
Different floor, different department, different job, but yes.
So she's been in Melrose and in Saugus and here now, so
She's seen the full gamut.
lots of good, yeah, so I love to get people who have different experiences, you know.
She has a
So
little
we can-
following
we
too
can
from
steal-
her story times at
Yeah.
Saugus, the kids were
That's
coming
awesome.
here.
We can steal her ideas, and how things work other places if it suits us.
And then will you be replacing Maggie with your time?
Yeah, we have to do,
Yep, I've been working on
we
the
started that today,
the job posting.
yeah. It's not a lot of hours, but she's a personality,
Oh.
so it's like she's
Yeah.
here more than you think she's here.
She was the face of the youth room for the early Buzzy years.
I know. I learned a lot from her.
Yeah.
She had a lot of experience from other places, and she,
Such passion.
Yeah, yes,
Really.
absolutely.
My kids, when they were little, go into the reading room, you know, and she was always running those programs.
yeah,
How long has she worked here?
Hmm?
How long has Heidi worked here?
She's been permanent staff since January of 2015, but she was a sub prior to that.
We have a retirement celebration.
and
We're gonna do something, we're not sure what yet. She's made it very clear that she doesn't want a gift, or she wants a donation in her name to an animal rescue charity, so.
yeah, they're decluttering, I believe. She's been talking about,
Yeah.
decluttering, so.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Big one.
Yes, indeed. All right, so December 31st is the last day.
That's her last, is the day before that is her last work day?
Her last work day is Saturday the 27th.
Okay.
So we have.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question, is
Okay.
sometimes they're retiring on the 31st, but they
Yeah.
have 8 weeks of PTO.
Yeah, based on schedule.
Yeah, it's the Wednesday, she works Wednesday nights and we're closing at 1:00 for New Year's Eve.
Yep.
So her last
Okay.
work day will be the 27th.
Very good. Well, not very good. but,
Yeah.
Not great, but
good for her, I guess.
yes, that's right.
Yeah.
She enjoys her time. All right, we have one item of new business, the FY 27 budget draft.
So I did 3 different drafts. I had trouble doing this because I can't figure out what's going on. And then I watched the tri-board meeting. Can you see that? Okay, if you can all take one of these. I had 3 different drafts, but I think it's gonna be okay for us to go with draft 3, where I asked for most amount of money.
I like that.
And
I like
Thanks,
that.
And sometimes I wonder if like they're all kind of chuckling because our budget is really so small that when you say we're adding 2%, it's not even $40,000.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of money, but it's not in the scheme of things with the kind of money that they're talking about. So I think that they can probably accommodate this, and I think that we have some good reasons to ask for it. So you see the total on the front, is 1.9%, it's just under $40,000 for everything. The personal services is contractual, so, and that's only 1% this year. So, that kind of helps us out to keep the percentage lower if we take more in contractual services, which we actually ask more in contractual services, which we actually need. And so on the back of it, the second page, I've identified an extra $4,300 for new software for the controller, the HVAC control system. There's also increasing, so then the next one, in building maintenance and improvements, that's $6,550. Elevator maintenance and testing costs are increasing, and those costs are from the state, and we have to do those. And I think last year they had come back. Yeah, so we ended up paying it twice.
Is it possible to ask for a little bit more money in building maintenance? I'm just looking at the actual expenditures for FY 24 and 25, being 58, well, almost 59 and 52 and a half. And if we're only asking for 50, we're not actually asking for as much as we spent in the last 2 years. So could we up it to at least kind of cover that 59, just to say, well, given previous history and it's an old building and there's probably gonna be unexpected
it depends on what that history is, because I sometimes will add to that line item, because there's always stuff to do, I'll add to that. I could round up because we probably always use it.
I mean, I think that, I don't know if we're going, or do you wanna get into it, or do you wanna let you finish your
Sorry, just a
summary
question
first?
that I have.
Yeah, cause I have questions.
Okay, so that was that, and then professional services were software cost increases. Automated network services, that $5,000 is to Noble, and that's contractual, so in any auction, I'm gonna be asking for that. And then the books and publications in materials and supplies, the more that I ask for that, the less we have to use from gifts and grants and state aid. And if I'm not using it from gifts and grants and state aid, that money can go toward building things that we might wanna do, that we can't get from capital. And it also leaves money in the trust funds for the following year.
Yep.
So we could either use trust fund monies this coming year, or we could save it for next year. So that this is really early, the numbers are kind of down and dirty. Because it was only Monday night that I heard Dan say, nobody's addressing a federal issue at all. And so I kind of am half worried that if there's a federal issue, that will trickle down. But they seem to be saying that they're on track, that the state is okay, that the receipts are there, and that it's possible we're gonna see ramifications beyond that. And Dan even said at one point his calculations is that we'll be spending more than we're taking in. And somebody else in the audience, Town Councilor Butler, noted that the predictions traditionally are conservative, and we've always done better. And Dan admitted that, and he said things have seemed to come our way. We got opera funds, who knew there was gonna be a pandemic. and you would get that, and then other things that have happened that, we've had some funding, but it still seems a little unpredictable to me.
Little.
Yeah, so that you know, but I do think from what I heard at the tri-board meeting, that it's the next year out. That's the bigger problem. So my earlier attempts, 1 and 2, were very, 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 very conservative. And I wouldn't recommend those, I think they're too conservative. And it doesn't set us up for 28. We probably need to be better for 28.
So, you know, the 1% increase in personal services is very odd, right? That's just a quirk of how people have retired and everything, right? So we kind of have a unique opportunity this year that we won't have in a future year to
Yes,
potentially catch up on some of these other line items that we have sort of always been struggling to keep up with, including like we had that big jump with the IT going into that budget and everything. But, we just talked about how the building, you're always rubbing other accounts to pay for the building maintenance and doing that. So it feels like this would be the year to say, oh, we have only 1% in our personal services. So that gives us a little bit more leeway while staying, if you say, I don't wanna go over 2.1, whatever, we don't wanna go over from a big budget perspective. We have more leeway within those other line items to catch them up. And I think we talked about this last year, is I would just be really nervous with 0% on so many of these contractual services lines. And there's the argument that I would make is these are the lines you have to rub from to pay for all the building maintenance, right? So even if we went 0.5% down all those 0% lines, which wouldn't be crazy, you would still end up around 6% for all of those, but it would give you that $5,000 of just breathing room that, we have over basically every year we've been, again, I think you have developed a reputation in the town rightfully so that we're never asking for more than we actually need, right? We're not sitting here going, well, we'd love to have neon lights around the places, but I just feel because you're never gonna, at the end of the day, they're mostly looking at that. What's the total budget increase, right? And that's the number they're looking at. This year we have opportunity because usually personal services eats most of that, right? That's whatever that grows, that's how much our budget's gonna grow. Can't we try to catch up on some other stuff?
I'm with Adam, and he knows more about budgets than I do, and I know how good you are with your budgets, conservative. You have the reputation of your budget gets approved very quickly because you don't ask for very much. But I look at even electricity, gas, the first 3 line items that are contractual, it's well, we've had years where it exceeded what we're budgeting for now. And it's does it just behoove us to add just a 0.5% on each one to offset what is going to be a more expensive economy in the following year or two. I wonder if those are just easy wins, even if we don't need them. Again, to Adam's point, is that money then that we have allocated that we can use elsewhere, but that's kind of low hanging fruit. That's fine.
so I'm curious what you think. So Dan was talking about hitting 3 or at the most 4%. So if I play with this and hit 3% as a final number, do you think that's
So that's 3% total operating?
Yeah, final line, the final number.
Yeah.
We're at 2.7 right now. Gotta get up to
another
No, it's
12.
1.9.
Yeah, 1.9.
Like another 12, right?
1.7.
right to oh yeah.
To get us to 3%?
Yeah, I got you.
I think so, I'm not the best.
Well,
I see.
It'd be 20,000,
It's
yeah,
more.
it'd be another
It's more.
20,000.
let them say no.
Right.
Well, did the
That's right,
town
let him
give
say
you any
no.
feedback?
Right, so that, so,
They said
you know,
3%.
Oh, well,
this
guess
is
if you're
your
so-
budget as much
Sorry,
as
we
it
should
is
definitely do
mine.
that.
Right, yeah, of course,
So I
no,
would
of
be
course,
putting
of
you in
course.
a position to have to defend it.
I think,
and
I think
and-
with a very straight face, we can say electricity's gonna go up
Right,
0.5%.
right, I think that's where I think we'd be willing to, we'd be there for it, like,
So I
it's
have
reasonable to.
yeah, I have looked at that, and the only way we're gonna end up paying more, I'm not sure, is if the prices go up, and I can't figure that out.
Sure, sure,
But 0.5 is very reasonable, so I could probably put that in and, for utilities,
Oh, sure.
like 0.5 for every utility, just to
right,
make
just to
sure that
offset,
we've
yeah.
got enough. We've been okay every time,
Sure,
every year, but,
Sure,
we've overexpended in water this year.
is that right, yeah,
So I know water is one that,
We're actually showing a drop from fiscal 24 in electricity expenditure, the budget.
right,
And,
exactly.
you know, that's not likely to be,
right, so 24 we spent more, and
Right.
then in 25 we spent
Went down.
significantly less.
Right,
And part of the problem has been that I always had this, Sharon had this formula and I used this formula, and it was fairly complicated, but it sort of worked. And it's different now because we're changing out all the bulbs and so as we change things, we have fewer computers. So
sure,
we've been but I think we're
Sure.
leveling off now. I think we've hit that point where I could take a few lights out of my office and we see what that does. My office is like,
well, electricity rates economy-wide and just going up.
yes,
As a general principle, you might want to just put something in. Does it have to do with the number of open days as well? Number of days you're open?
it doesn't really.
okay,
It doesn't really, because we're open, it's, I think some years it's the temperature
Oh,
will
sure.
make a difference.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
have if you have a warm winter or a cold winter or a hot summer, you know, the summer is gas, no wait. It's the other way. The summer is electricity and the winter is gas, of course.
we're gonna have a cold winter, it's already started, I know, it's gonna be a
Yeah,
cold winter,
yeah.
it's just here, yeah.
I got something that might get you another 30,000. There's on the second page, at the bottom, second page on the bottom, there's a line that says 13% state minimum material expenditure requirement is roughly 277,000.
Right.
We only have 246 for that line.
There's actually it's less, there's 214 in books and materials, and then there's 37,000 that's part of automated network services, which is Noble,
Okay,
contractual service. In contractual service, there are some databases and things, it's about $40,000 worth of materials. So that still doesn't hit.
the 277,000.
Right, and so typically what I do is take some money from either state aid or the whatever we use.
Oh,
And that has been going on for years and years and years. There was one year when Steve Mayo was able to fund the entire thing in 5511. And I think it was like 2017 or 2018. We funded the whole thing. So we could do that.
so.
Add more money,
Yeah,
add more, get the full appropriation in the materials budget. The thing is, when you increase the budget, you still have to hit 13%. So by increasing the budget, the money becomes more that you have to, 13% becomes a higher number.
Yeah.
So that's always where we've been.
But if you just say, say building maintenance for set a budget for 50,000, which we've basically always done on that. And then if we say that we're gonna conservatively budget 60,000, the building's not getting any younger, we'd love to be able to get ahead of some of these things instead of waiting that. And then, you know, then you're just looking at $10,000 more across all those other lines that you're at. That would get you to about a little under 3%. Because I think it is to the point of like, you know, I don't know, just going across the board and doing something that's kind of like electricity this and gas this and everything. But you're looking at just 1% of the budget's $21,000, right? So $21,000. So if we're trying to add a little, to get to 3%, you would need to add $21,000, a little more, $22,000 to the budget. And that, whether that's materials or just maintenance and things like that, you know. Because to your point, like we have state, we have other things. I don't love to be able to fund everything through the town budget, so that way, so we are building up the emergency in case we do have a year where we can't be funded.
And then we would really need our discretionary funds.
Right. And the other question I had, and this is somewhat related, this will be the first fiscal year, maybe I'm wrong, this last fiscal year was the first fiscal year without a blossoms. What is there anything that is changing based on our like formula for how we pay stuff? Are we just asking friends for more money than we used to because the blossoms didn't have?
No, I'm still asking friends for the same amount of money. I am gonna see if we can do different events with friends that could possibly raise money similar to what we had in Blossoms. I don't know that we'd get the same amount, but we wanna try to give it a try. In part, our programming costs are a little bit less because we just have really good staff. So some of those costs are less, and if we had to cut back, we could and still do some good programming. We maybe wouldn't be able to get the supplies that we get now. And some of that money went to things like the little rooms, so that was significant.
Well, are you asking too if we didn't have Blossoms this past spring?
Right.
Was there anything that we weren't able to do with the money that we would have gotten from Blossoms? Is that partly what you're like?
Well, so
Well, in
I'm
part-
just looking forward to a future where we would have to start using state aid and things like that and money from the friends to make props. Ideally never happens, right? This is why I want to get caught up, so we're only asking for 2% in the future.
Right.
But I just worry like what was Blossoms paying for that right now we can cover because we're covering a lot of other stuff, but wouldn't we cover it in the future?
There's still Blossoms money left that I have not expended. I try to, when you see various gifts, there are a number of different gifts in there, and I pay out things that are, like, people have left us money that, or they've given us donations that they want specific things to go to, so I sort of keep track of that. So the bottom line is for unrestricted, is almost $125,000 of various gifts. That includes probably about $20,000 of Blossoms. The Blossoms money is in there. We haven't fully expended that yet.
So it lives on.
So I have a little bit, I guess what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I have a little bit of time before that kind of fundraising becomes an issue, because we are really blessed with the amount of donations we get. Somebody dies and it says in the obituary to leave it to, give a donation to the library in the person's name. The $1,000 we got this week was in the name of someone who passed away. And then that doesn't even begin to touch the money that's with First Financial that we've gotten from. That's extra money, and it's meant to be used for special things for this building. And many libraries would do that, like for a new building project, they would hoard all that money so that they could have, they need $1 million to start a new building project. And we haven't needed to do that so that that money is there.
That's, people give that money to bring the library from here to here, they don't give that money to keep the lights on, right? Like that's
Right, right.
the responsibility.
So a lot of people, this has come up recently this week, that there are a lot of people who come in here and say, this place is really great. And a lot of what it is that the furniture is hotel grade furniture, it's not from a library catalog. And that's what we've done with that extra money. So where, you know, your budget might allow you to have a $500 chair, we have a $1,000 chair. And it's gonna last 6 times as long because the fabric is unbelievable, because we get it through a designer. So we are doing what I think donors intended by having, we get the best, you know, if you're gonna get it, we try to get the best.
So I'm looking on page 14 of the packet, and it's got the FY26 gifts and grant summary. So is the Blossoms money kind of included on this page, like in the total unrestricted, or is it just in a separate?
It's in unrestricted, you're only, so what you see is only the bottom line. So under various gifts, the total restricted various gifts, there's about $24,000 there. Those are printed paper donations, so I only use that for printing and for printed paper. And then the total unrestricted is probably like 5 or 6 different accounts. One of them is Blossoms, one of them is from Peter and Faye Vale, who both passed away and left some money. And the ADA door, she had an issue that as she got older, they were bird watchers and hikers and stuff like that, and I think she got MS maybe. And she would come in and really struggle, so I did an ADA project with some of her money, and we'll do some like bird stuff. I think the bird thing I bought.
The bird thing, we've also done some bird programs with that money too.
Yeah, so, you know, if we know there was a donor that, and nobody's gonna come and ask us about that because they have passed away. It was left, the estate was left that way. But I knew them, and so we just, you know, they were known at reference. So we try to, and then a lot of people leave money for the youth home. And that we will wanna use for the youth home, because that's gonna need work. That's gonna be Catherine's project. Everything down there is changing and I can't figure out how. But the kids don't use those carols anymore. So I guess what I try to balance is the idea that Kevin Gill will say, you have all this money, you know, we wanna be a team player. You wanna work for the town, but our first priority is to have the best library we can have. And people have donated that money specifically for the library. So we don't wanna use it for operating expenses. And I wanna be careful about the operating expenses that I ask for, but I also am aware that I think I'm being a little too conservative. And if you will encourage me to not be conservative, then I'm able to say that we as a group decided it was prudent to ask for more than 1.9% if that's an option.
Well, something like the electricity cost, like
Right.
we're cooling center
Yeah,
in the summer,
right.
that's gonna be, it's a Sunday,
Right.
we're opening up and that's gonna eat into our electricity cost.
Yeah,
There's, you know,
minor nudges on line items that just come up as being protected and not ambitious. Like electricity, gas, all those things are like,
And
that's just like, we're doing this to be prudent about the fact that we anticipate prices going up, and so
And putting 60 into building maintenance and improvements just makes sense, because that's roughly what we've been spending over the last couple of years. It's an old building, and let's actually get what we're spending in the budget, so that makes a lot of sense to me.
And especially based on what you just told us.
About Dave's,
How much
well,
that capable.
exactly.
Yeah, that's where,
Right.
if we wanna impress upon Dave how, like, it would be helpful to have a better sense of the odds and ends that he just kind of does behind the scenes, but it's, you know, he doesn't come to that. Not that he's gonna come up with that number automatically, but.
So I'll
Yes.
say just in general, building maintenance is definitely an operating expense.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
So
so,
the idea of using people's donated money to pour back in the building is not too much better than saying you paid for 15 minutes of electricity in the building. I'll also say this, almost any number you can come up with, there is identifiable backlog in the maintenance to spend that money.
yeah,
I mean, there's a redundant boiler that's been down, I think, since I joined the trustees 10 years ago.
What did you say?
Number 7.
Nailed it.
So there's legitimacy in sticking your hand out and saying, we need money to keep this grand old building a grand old building.
And I think there's also the compounding effect of these are the numbers that we're basing next year's percentage increase on and everything, which is why I was sort of harping on the personal services is really gonna be 1% this year. Like, this is the time to catch up on these other items, because we, like, even if we go all the way to 3%, it's still asking for $60,000 more, right? That's the books that fall off the back of a truck in the school budget, right? So like it's you know, I feel like an additional $10,000 in our maintenance budget will make a ton of difference in terms of your ability to proactively maintain everything instead of trying to figure out, oh, am I gonna have electricity money left over at the end of the year so I can pay for this and everything? And it actually,
We don't want you running around and
I
turning
do
off
it.
all the lights.
but that's what we do, we go, okay, well, let's see how cold the winter it is, maybe we'll have money left over in the gas budget to actually fix this, you know, carpet, but like, I just feel like an extra $10,000 in that budget will keep the building proactively, and it'll just make, like, you guys won't have to play so many gymnastics with the budget, which will mean that it's actually more sustainable moving forward.
right. I think it's the sustainability.
Yeah.
That if we can manage that this year, then the following year, we're working off of something that's not cutting bone.
Catherine, where is insurance on these lines?
I think the town has insurance,
Oh, so it's,
it's the
we're not
town's insurance,
covered, we're not,
we don't have to cover it.
how do we, we're confident that they have properly valued this place.
As far as I know, yeah, it's I've never been part of those conversations.
Yeah, yeah,
That's interesting.
that'd be a conversation.
Do you maintain like an asset number? Like, if somebody said how much is the value of all the books in the building, would you have a number?
We used to have to do that, and at some point it stopped, and they didn't do that anymore.
You don't,
We used to have to do all the assets, we had a whole asset list. And at some point they stopped it and said they weren't using that.
Wonder how they assess that, you have insurance perspective, right?
well, the municipal finance is totally different.
If the building burns down, it'd be like, what was the actual loss?
So like, we're not depreciating books and you're not keeping that.
Right enough.
Right. Yeah, it's also like, how many first editions did you have, second editions, like I'm sure you're that, like, what,
You know, they're counting on only one building burning at a time. Basically, that's it. They've got a great big blanket insurance coverage for the whole town. This place goes up and they make a claim. And then it's,
yeah, I wonder what the assessment's based on,
yeah, really.
besides a blanket building, it's like, well, what,
So, okay, so
We
that's,
know what the books are because they're in the catalog. The one time when I came here in 2000, the first job I had, was an insurance thing. And a sprinkler burst, almost hit Dave in the head, almost killed him. And I wasn't here when it happened, but I came right afterwards, and it was in the youth room and the whole place flooded, and they just opened. And so I spent the whole first year Xeroxing documents for attorneys, because people were fighting with one another as to who was gonna be responsible. Yeah, so the town actually didn't end up covering that, it was somebody that was involved in the renovation.
Interesting.
So
Well, yeah, they're all gonna fight until the one that has to open up the wall.
they're all-
Yeah.
That is, I guess the insurance then is not part of this budget.
No, it's every year, the insurance people, I see a representative speak at town council. And I think he does the whole town. Kevin Gill must know, I can ask him details.
Yeah, so.
To steer this to a path forward, Kevin, when do you need a vote from us on the budget?
Well,
Does it have to be today?
No, what I thought I would do is get direction from you, which I sort of have here.
Yep.
And then at the next meeting, which is in December, I'll invite FinCom at the same time.
Good.
Okay.
So we'll review it and have
Yeah.
FinCom advise us as well.
Right.
And get the whole thing. I don't really have a calendar, no one has said what this calendar is, they seem to be a little bit behind.
Yeah.
So.
As long as it doesn't have to be today.
No, I don't think it,
some room to
no,
operate.
it doesn't have to be
Okay.
today,
So-
which is why I had 3 of them.
Yeah.
And then really, I didn't expect to hear what I heard on Monday night.
Yeah, you were kind of preparing
So I
for
was,
the worst,
I
and
was
now we're,
preparing for this.
sure, we're
this-
cheering you on.
This thing that doesn't
Put the
seem
money
to be
here.
the case right now.
So I guess our message is,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, I think so.
Is there
Yeah.
anyone who is in disagreement with that? Just wanna give both sides, I think we're unanimous in some kind of increase.
So the idea is to try to hit 3%.
It seems, if you have a justifiable path forward, it
And-
seems like a decent number to start with, and
Right.
if we can knock that down, so be it, but.
Right, you land on 2.7,
Yeah,
fine.
I think
So-
that's-
Right.
But I think anything extra is good extra, and I think
Just
you'll
between,
get extra from it.
just between the building and the books.
Yeah, I think
Like
it,
if that's all you looked at, you'd be good. I think you'd be fine.
you're on FinCom? John, are you on FinCom?
No.
Who's on FinCom? Phil Ramsey?
He's capital.
He was
He's capital gains,
yeah,
Oh,
capital,
right,
the capital
yes,
planning.
capital.
Phil's capital.
It's
Jeff on
Dan and Therese?
Jeff Shinta, maybe?
Trey's still on, I believe, but I don't know if he's our representative. They have liaisons, and I don't know who it is.
Okay.
It was
No.
Joe Bertrand was,
Bertrand, yeah,
was he capital? No.
no, it's not.
No, he was
It's
finance.
finance. FinCom.
Yeah, it was the last time, FinCom attended one of our meetings, it was Dan and Therese
And Joe
Bertrand.
Bertrand.
Or, okay.
So it's not always 3 people,
No,
sometimes it's 1 or 2.
Yep.
So, for a while, Dan had been the chair, and he is not now. It's, I can hear his voice and I can see him, and I can't remember his name.
Instead of walking up to the podium at town meeting. Sorry,
Is it
Sir.
Sullivan? Is it Sullivan? Is it,
Who's the guy at the
Yeah,
town
we
meeting
just
that comes
Google
up and
this
says,
and that.
we vote favorable?
Favorable action.
Which is-
Yeah,
this is the building.
That's what I'm trying to
get
say,
an answer to these
That's what it
Yeah,
is, yeah.
who was it?
Yeah, that's good.
Sullivan?
Sullivan, that's his name.
You got it?
Yeah, but I don't remember his first name now.
Sullivan, I've never heard him say.
Yeah, and that's what we want him to say.
That's right.
Exactly.
He
So
will,
that's
he will.
why, yeah, because they're looking at the big picture. So if I make a legitimate budget here and you all understand that that's what I'm doing, and we have FinCom here and we all talk about it.
Yeah.
FinCom will be able to say, yeah, in the scheme of things,
Yeah.
this is legitimate or it's
Mhm.
not.
they can course correct based on information that they have
Right.
that we don't.
Right,
We'll go
because
from there.
because we want them to say favorable action.
Yeah.
And as long as we go after the school committee or school budget in the meeting.
Right, yes.
I know, I do, sometimes I look at it and I do think, this is like,
We're looking
Around
for
here.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna love this.
We're rounding error.
Is there anything the budget subcommittee needs to do, just cause I knew I don't know.
It's a good question.
Typically, if, the way that I've always looked at it is, we have this discussion, and then if there's advocacy that needs to be done at specific meetings outside of this meeting, we will lead the charge on doing that. So if we have to rally the troops to make sure that we show up, because there is some, but we've never had, we've never,
We haven't ever.
they've always been like, oh, that sounds great, so.
Yeah, that's right, that's right, I was like, okay, you got it.
That is,
Yeah.
that is.
And usually Catherine says to us, oh, they're gonna talk about the budget at this meeting, and then usually there's a line that says, and I'm not worried about it, or I would really need some, I need some help.
Right.
So that's.
It's like
yeah.
pretty rare that someone from the trustees goes to that meeting.
Yes.
I think the ammunition is pretty solid to do it.
I agree, I think,
And, you know, I think it was Adam that just said, it. If you look at the first 3 lines of this, there's 0 increases.
Right,
And, you know, if they give you a household budget for the last 2 years, household budget, there are no zeros in it, no 0 increases in any of those numbers.
yeah,
So,
those are bound to increase.
yeah.
right. That's easy, that's easy.
We're not telling you to go to 5%, but
Yeah.
not 3.
Oh,
Yeah, why
yeah.
don't you stop at 3?
Yeah, 3 is great, I'll take 4 to do it.
3.5, see what I
Okay, that should be good.
Very good. Alright.
Alright, so we will,
So there's no vote.
we'll take a look at a V4 in December. Very good. Okay, that was the only item of new business on the agenda. Items not reasonably anticipated by the chair. Anyone have any walk-ons, anything you wanna see for next meeting?
All I had was the masonry, there's nothing, and we already had that, there wasn't anything else that came up, was there?
You don't need to vote on masonry or
No, that's just
anything, just the go-to.
repair that's gonna happen, that has to happen.
This isn't really an item, but just, the event last month was so nice, I wonder if you had any feedback from the staff. I know I got there a little late, but, when we had the trustees and staff get together, the dinner, and then just, it was really great behind the scenes stuff that I really enjoyed it, so I don't know if the staff had any feedback afterwards.
I don't know, everybody seems to enjoy
Yeah,
themselves,
everyone had a good time and it was good to,
and they recognize faces.
they recognize a lot of faces, but they're putting names to them
Yeah.
and your role as well, so.
Did
Yeah,
anyone
it's good.
bring like a thing with a picture of my head on it that
We
was
didn't-
discussed?
We're
Okay,
waiting for you to
because
schedule your
I-
personal tour,
Okay,
so
I'm
just let us know.
ready for it now,
Alright.
I'm back from Mexico and I'm ready to rock.
So you'll have to make an appointment, because then you'll get to see the treasure room.
I'll just walk around, shaking
Yeah.
it's big cheese and.
Having seen the treasure room, I think my first meeting as a trustee, and it was basically just a pile of stuff. And seeing what they've done with it, it really has come, it's a really great resource and setup and everything, like, that is I know it was partially grant funded, but obviously a lot of ton of work went into that, so.
And
How many
it's-
years?
It's a long time, that's not a day project, that's an Amanda project, that is all her. I don't like to take away credit from other people,
Yeah.
but that's all her.
Yeah, we just
that was
got
always
lucky
on-
that she,
that
it's
she-
her skill
it's her
set,
skill.
she's,
But that
because,
was always on Becky's to-do list forever,
and she could never
and
get
she
to
would
it.
never get to it.
There aren't enough hours in the day, it has to be its own.
Yeah, you get someone who's passionate about it, knows what they're doing, and, you know, the grant money is a nice little seed, a little impetus to get moving. That's true.
And now we know how to limit it, you know, we feel more comfortable about people wandering with stuff and say, I found this in my attic, I know you'll love it. And we know whether or not it really fits here. Because there isn't that much space. And it has to fit into the parameters of what we actually can manage. So
Have you
it's been a
ever
good
thought
job.
of giving it more space? Bigger space?
I don't know where we would find it.
Sounds like most of it gets brought to the
That's a lot.
historic commission.
Oh, on the balcony?
No, because it's a climate
Yeah, it's
controlled
climate
room.
controlled.
Oh, it is,
That
Yeah.
room is climate controlled, yeah.
okay.
What room?
Wow, wait for your
Wanted to
sword.
say, I'm like, hold on, I sounded like, what are you guys talking
On
about?
the first-
Where is this room?
On the
The
first
treasure
floor, kind of
Yeah.
tucked away a little bit, there's a room that has all the old documents and everything.
Don't imagine,
Have I been in it before? Yeah.
No,
Oh,
because
you
you
can't
didn't
get
count
in.
last month.
Can I plant something for
That's
just
what-
me?
that's
I'll
what I
give a
said.
speech to the
Come and they'll
troops
say-
and then I'll see the treasure room,
They'll
you know,
take you
Don't
to
cut, if you call, they call it the treasure room, you're gonna think there's like the crown jewels.
I just wanna find a
It's a
map,
closet.
like
File
from
closet.
the Goonies, maybe
Yeah.
to find maybe treasure, that's all I'm really
Real
interested in, so.
No, I think you'll find maybe a map of
Wait.
Lake Cemetery.
That's cool, I'll take that too, that's fine.
A lot of people
Any
actually
map would be
use
fine.
that, yeah.
So given the lack of space, would there be a grant somewhere out there you could apply for to, when people bring you things that's like, we don't really have the space for it, but it's, you wouldn't want to lose it, like, is there a grant you can get, like, scan it, digitize it, to help?
There are, but
contribute?
so many of these things, like, people want to give to us to be the, like, repository for the stuff. And even if it was scanned, like, we could hold a digital copy of it, but we still don't want your actual physical thing.
Right, but at least if you said, oh, well, we can have a digital thing, it would make.
Yeah, we've been trying to connect with the Historical Society and Historical Commission, because most of this is in their purview, but it's a little bit of a challenge, making contact with them. Because we do get a lot of people who come here asking questions that are really Historical Society questions, and they're like, we emailed them multiple times, no one has gotten back to them, so.
Their budget makes us look like the school.
I know,
So they have a budget, yeah.
and I don't even know if they want more.
Yeah, I don't know,
They-
they've got a lot of
they
stuff in
have-
that museum, I believe that is not actually cataloged there.
It's
And
a
I don't
challenge
know
with
that
every
it's-
archive, right?
Yes.
You're gonna get 1,000 things, that maybe 10
Right.
of them are stuff that you really need to hold on to.
I don't know that it's climate controlled and stuff too, yeah, so.
It's like a good internship.
Very good.
Yeah.
Some poor
They
soul
don't
has to
wanna
care for
make-
everything.
I do feel better that we properly cared for what we actually have.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I did used to think from time to time, who knows what's in there, that, yeah, the climate control is
Civil War
there.
letters
Yeah,
that Amanda just discovered in a baggie when she was going through that stuff.
I know, they were in a baggie.
could there be a fundraising opportunity here by having a special day when you show a display of that stuff, of selected things?
Possibly.
Yeah.
We did it once, we did it for the 100th anniversary. Actually, we had stuff in this room
Yeah,
And that's
and look for
that you could use, yeah.
donations.
We did that, so would kind of do that with the Friends. That's one of the things that I've been thinking about having, a Friends evening
Yeah, yeah.
a few times a year. And that might be an idea that,
It takes curatorial time to like, because I was thinking like, could
Yeah,
you,
good
it would be interesting to, okay, because you have all the high school yearbooks all the way back to, whatever. It's like, could you do it's this 50th anniversary of this high school class, and like, but it takes time to like go through and pull the pictures and blow it, and stuff, like, again, seems like a great intern project someday.
Well, do you MLS students have
Yeah,
any
for the
like
pages,
projects,
pages.
like graduation projects?
have I done graduation?
Well, no, the
Yeah.
students, like the
Like
MLS
internships.
students.
MLS students.
Oh, we sometimes do internships. We sometimes don't have good luck with internships. The stars have to align, the university has what they want, and then the student has what they want, and then the library has what they want, and sometimes they don't all agree. Or you do agree and then the person leaves for whatever reason, or it doesn't always, that's been tough. The last few that we've done have been tough. We had one that, it was a research project, and I begged for the results, and she ghosted me. I was, like, we had gone the whole summer with this person and done all kinds of stuff, and I had really hoped for the results of her work, and she graduated and I never got it. So you can't always rely, it's like volunteers, everybody's heart is in the right place, but the obligation isn't there, so it's sometimes hard to get what you need.
Okay, good discussion. Anything else? Okay, next Friends meeting is the 11th. Susan is primary, Chris is backup, of course, you're here. Our next meeting is December 17th. If there's nothing else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. There we go. All right, let's vote. Laura?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
8:22.
Thank you, everybody.